Secrets of End-Time Faith, the Discovery Series, Lesson 1. From the research discoveries of R. Elliott Cathy, an independent research scientist. Table of Contents, Key Topics. Note: the following successful research is based in using the King James Version Bible. 1. Descriptions versus definitions, the problem. 2. Concepts in physics, force and energy. 3. The three types of definitions of faith. 4. The Bible is an encoded text to be deciphered. 5. Decoded definitions of biblical end-time faith. What are we looking for? Descriptions versus definitions, the problem. In my research, I discovered a fundamental problem preventing us from solving anomalous issues. The issue in regard to faith is that we don't have a true fundamental definition. It appears we've been operating with a description. Now, a description tells us about something, but descriptions are discovered to be inherently incomplete, although they can be quite valuable. Now, a true definition gives us the power to control a technology. In regard to the subject of faith, if I were to speak with a minister or a priest and ask them the definition of faith, they generally might quote verses to me like, "Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen," or "Faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God." But the issue is what do these verses really mean? Unfortunately, the forthcoming answers have not been practical. Let me give an example. A famous scientist by the name of Sir Isaac Newton gave us an equation called Newton's law of universal gravitation. That law has assumed to be a definition when it is in reality a description. If we had a true definition of gravity, we would have the power of anti-gravity, but we do not. Now, another example would be Maxwell's equations, a set of mathematical equations that give us the power to understand and control electricity, to define the interactions of electric and magnetic fields. Two scientists, Tesla and Marconi, working with these equations, designed working radio transmitter systems. So once again, the issue is that we are searching for the real definition of faith. A real definition of gravity would give us the power of anti-gravity technology. Basic concepts in physics. Physics is the most basic of the fundamental sciences. Physics is usually described as the most basic of the fundamental hard sciences. 2. Physics is generally described as the interaction between matter and energy. Einstein taught us that all matter is energy in his equation E = mc squared, where m is mass and c is the speed of light squared. An alternate equation was given to us by Planck, his energy equal h bar f, where h bar is Planck's constant. Once again, all matter is energy. 3. In this case, we look at physics more fundamentally as the interaction of forces and energy. A force is that which causes motion, simply pushes and pulls. Energy is that which force acts upon. So the question at this point is, what is faith? The faith of the Bible. We're going to be looking at 3 definitions of faith. The dictionary definition. 2. The Bible definition that was personally given to us by Jesus Christ. And 3. The derived Bible definition. The dictionary definition of faith. The below definitions were compiled primarily from the Webster's Dictionary, but does include information from others as well. The first definition is belief and trust in God. The second is allegiance and loyalty. The third is confidence. The fourth is a system of religious beliefs. Now the problem is that in 1980, when I went to the local library to find the definition, I was looking for the definition of faith as spiritual power. And to my utter dismay, I didn't find one. Now, verses in the Bible tell us that faith is a form of spiritual empowerment. And so the circumstance is that this is what I call the fifth missing definition of faith. Bible verses of faith versus demonstrating faith as a spiritual force. The following several pages were created by searching the phrase by faith. It was found in the King James Bible 37 times in 36 verses. Once again, this is the issue here, is that biblical faith is being used as a spiritual force over and over again. The first one, by faith, Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain. By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found. By faith, Noah, being warned of God of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house. By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise as a strange country. As we continue looking at these verses demonstrating faith as a spiritual force, once again we searched the phrase by faith in the King James Version Bible. As we look further, by faith Abraham did certain things, by faith Isaac did certain things, by faith Jacob did certain things, by faith Joseph did certain things, by faith Moses did certain things. As we continue looking at the verses that demonstrate faith as a spiritual force, the process continues. Miraculous things continue to happen by faith. Now, obviously, what's listed here on these 3 pages is not all the verses. The search for faith as a spiritual force. So what is our purpose in this quest? We are searching for the definition of faith as a spiritual force. The goal is to make the faith of the Bible practical. Almost in every little church in America, there has been a little old man or a little old lady who, when they pray in faith, something happens. My mother was such a person. While I was growing up, she would pray and things happened. It captured the meaning of prayer changes things. My research stemmed from the desire to understand the secrets of faith in the Bible. The Bible as an encoded text. The Bible, a coded document to be deciphered in time. An encrypted document ideally contains its own code keys for decipherment. The code keys for deciphering the hidden meaning of faith in the Bible are word definitions. It is discovered that Jesus personally defines the critical basic word definitions for the proper decipherment. Jesus defines the most basic definition of biblical faith for us in his own words. Bible definitions of faith. Searching for the Bible's own definitions of faith. I did a search using my computer, and I found 247 uses of the word faith in 231 verses, plus additional verses. Discovery. I found 3 verses in the Bible that give the Bible's own definition of faith. The first of these is Matthew 21:21 in the King James Version. Jesus answered and said unto them, Verily I say unto you, if ye have faith and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also if ye shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, it shall be done. The second verse, Mark 11:23 in the King James Version. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe, that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. The third verse, Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Bible definitions of faith. On the last page we discovered that there were 3 verses that were biblical definitions of faith in the Bible. 2 of these we discover are given to us by Jesus himself, Matthew 21:21 in the King James Version and Mark 11:23 in the King James Version. The critical phrase is, if ye have faith and doubt not, it shall be done, in Matthew 21:21. And if you shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe, those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. And so if ye have faith and doubt not, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe, by further comparison, faith and doubt not, and believe in the heart, and shall not doubt. But what does heart mean? Modern research identifies the heart as the subconscious mind. Therefore, the Bible definition that Jesus gave us of faith is equal to believing and not doubting in the heart, the subconscious mind. This is the simplest, most basic definition of faith. This form of belief is an extreme belief based in absolutes. Part 3, the derived definition of faith. In the previous section, we had found 3 verses that were the Bible's own definitions of faith. The third one of these was Hebrews 11:1 in the King James Version. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. In this verse, there were 3 words that needed further clarification. The word now, faith, and hope. The word now may be seen as the eternal now moment of God, but in a practical sense, it's the processing mode of the subconscious mind. In the subconscious mind, everything happens in the now moment. The second word, faith, Jesus defined for us personally as believe and not doubt in the heart. The third word, hope, I looked up in the Franklin Electronic Dictionary, and it was defined as desire with expectation of fulfillment. The words desire and expectation need further clarification. I then looked up the word desire in the Franklin Electronic Dictionary, and it defined it as a strong mental impulse to have, be, or do something. Desire additionally means a strong feeling, where a feeling is a thought and the emotional reaction that it causes. A desire additionally means to sire something, to be the father of, or to beget something. Now, in this definition of desire, a strong mental impulse to have, be, or do something, the word impulse actually comes from the field of physics, and it means a force applied over a short duration of time. A force is that which causes motion. Additionally, the word expectation, from the phrase expectation of fulfillment, means to anticipate something. In this case, we're anticipating the fulfillment of our desire. I looked at this and gave my own equivalent definition, the imminent arrival of something, in my own words. Now, putting it all together, the derived definition of faith is that faith is a spiritual force from within, based in desire, that causes the imminent arrival of that desire through the expectation of its fulfillment, the manifestation from the unseen. Faith research definitions basic conclusions. In the previous sections, we were examining the ideas that the Bible provided its own basic definitions of faith. In part 1, we found faith to be defined as believing and not doubting in the heart, where the heart is the subconscious mind, and that this definition was given to us by Jesus Christ himself as the most basic or simple definition of faith. Furthermore, additional research, we were able to derive a definition of faith, giving us further information. And that definition is that faith is a spiritual force from within, based in desire, that causes the imminent arrival of that desire through the expectation of fulfillment, the manifestation from the unseen. Conclusions. With these definitions, it becomes evident that faith is a force from within that can cause our desires, our intentions to manifest in reality. We see them as miracles. Faith research, general conclusions. 1. With this initial work completed, we now have the basics to recover the ancient science of faith utilized in the early Bible periods. 2. These fundamental definitions give us the ability to reconstruct the lost science of biblical faith. 3. With a deeper understanding of these definitions of faith, we can expect the imminent full return of the age of miracles.